Welcome. It's time for a unit on menus and dialogues. We've got a couple of cool apps that we're going to be making here. So the first one is a little point of sale app, and the second one is actually one that lets you customize basketball jerseys to your liking. Let's demo the first one right now. So point of sale, kind of like like a little cash register or something like that. Not quite like that, but we're going to be asking people for items ordered. And then how many, and then when they want them delivered. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click the action button here, and it's going to ask me what I want to buy. So let's get some coffee and donuts. So coffee, I'm going to go out tomorrow morning with my wife. So let's get a couple of coffees for Saturday, and click OK. And then same thing, I want to add some donuts. So I'm going to go ahead and donuts. She doesn't really love donuts, but I'll get them for the family anyway. Couple dozen, yum. Let's go ahead and click OK on that guy. So we've got donuts here. So what can we do with this, right? So so first of all, we can search for ones that we've added in already. So if I wanted to go back to coffee, I can choose that from the list here and see what my order was here. I can reset any one of them. It just resets in the screen, and oops, I didn't mean to get rid of the coffee, so I can send it back, right? And I'll say that it restores it. Let's go ahead and get rid of the donuts, and let's see, let that clear, and if long enough goes on, it'll stay cleared. It turns out that it's not really gone. I can bring it back here. If I do a long press on the item, then it will ask me, do I really want to get rid of it, or do I want to edit it? And I'll say edit it, because 24 donuts is just too much for anyone. We'll cut back to a dozen here, a dozen square donuts. What else can we do? We got something here for settings, just for kicks. I have this launch the system settings to show you how to do that. And more interestingly, if I go here, I can do a clear all. And if I do that, it's going to bring up a little confirmation dialog here. Are you sure you want to remove all the items? Click OK, and we do, and they go away, and we're back to having nothing. No coffee, no donuts. Lots of stuff going on here, but all really just sort of the next step in learning about the UI. What should we be able to do? So a couple things that you saw here. The little button down here is what's called the floating action button. All right, so we'll learn about how to make that happen. Here we have our toolbar, and we're learning how to put menu items up in there. Did some things with some standard icons and also a custom icon. So we'll see how to mess around with that. Alert dialogs. So each of these guys that you saw pop up here. So to add an item and edit, and then also this list right here, and even the confirmation that we were going to delete everything. Those are all alert dialogs. So we'll learn about how to do that. And finally, the little guys that were showing up at the bottom of the screen, little messages there. Are just called snack bars messages, and we saw even one with an action to undo. So lots of fun stuff going on in this app. So let's start off. So the first thing is we'll start off by talking about the floating action button, and I'll give you some starting code so we don't have to type everything in from scratch this time. All right, first thing is we're going to make a new project. Up till now, you've probably been using empty activity. This time we're going to want to grab a blank activity so that we get some stubbed in code for the action button and for the toolbar up top. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. So if I go back to here, let's say I still have my tic-tac-toe up. So I'm going to say go ahead and make a new project, and this one we're going to call point of sale, just like that. You can put in spaces or not, kind of up to you. Okay, and click through this. Make sure you grab the blank activity. Everything else is just fine. Let's go ahead and notice it gives us an option to use a fragment. Not there yet. All right, so let's take a look to see what we get for starting code here. The first thing is that if we look at our layout, we see that it's actually done a little bit more for us. We actually have two files this time, and one is contained within the other. So let's take a peek at activity main. This is something called a coordinator layout, right? It has other stuff in it. And let's see what I'm going to do. A lot of this is, I'll be honest, I don't worry too much about what's going on here. I am going to put an ID in this guy. And I'd recommend you do the same right now. And we'll just call it coordinator layout. And later on, we'll need that when we do the snack bar. All right, so we've got that guy there. We'll notice what it has inside is it has an app bar layout, right? So this is the top of the screen, sort of that area that you see at the top, and that contains one thing, which is the toolbar, and that's what we can put menu items into. The bulk of it is that we're including the other layouts. We're including content main, which we'll take a look at in a moment. And the other thing that's up at this level is the floating action button, right? And we see this guy, it gives us an ID, right? So just stubbed in for us for floating action button, or FAB, people will call it that usually. And what I'm also going to do is get my own icon out of the box. It comes with an email icon, and I want to change that to be able to add items. So I'm going to use a plus sign, which sort of is a standard thing there. And there's a couple of them that are built in. Neither of them do I really like. So I'm just going to actually put a placeholder in here, and I'll give you one in a minute. So it's a little bit nicer than the ones, just a little bigger plus than some of the other ones have. All right, so that's part of what we get. Let's take a look at content main. Probably no surprise, content main is very similar to what you would have expected to be your whole activity main in the very beginning units when we were first learning Android here. And we're actually going to replace this in a few minutes with something a little bit more interesting. Okay, let's take a look at main activity. So go into our Java code and see what we got here. A few extra things related to the layouts that we saw. So once we call up to the superclass and set the content view of activity main, then we do a couple things. First of all, we capture the toolbar, right? So that had an ID on it, and we grab it and we set it as the support action toolbar. If we were to look at this, okay, so again, we're talking that this is backwards compatibility, all right, back to version 7. So you can see the support here. So we're setting things so that they work. Same thing for the floating action button. We're going to go ahead and capture that guy so we can use it, and they even stub in an on-click listener for us. Out of the box, it comes with a little snack bar, and if you want to run it now, you can. Totally up to you. It'll just say that well, actually, it's not going to work quite yet because I haven't given you the icon, so we'll wait on that for a bit. Two more things here, and that's the next thing is that I have a couple things related to menus. So on create option menu and on options item selected. We'll come back to those in a few minutes when we do something interesting with them. All right, so let me give you the icon so you can check things out here. So again, we talked about the starting code, so I'm going to kind of skip past this. It's more for your records. All right, so we got some resource files here. Go ahead and click on this guy right here, and we're going to grab 4 things out of this. All right, so I've got them here, and I have a new content main. Just has a few text views for the actually has a 4th one as well, but 3 that we care about that we're going to be setting. For the name, the quantity, and the date of the object or the item that we want delivered. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of strings, just mostly for headers and everything having to do with those same things. And then the icon that I mentioned, the plus sign for the floating action button, and then finally I'll give you a model file here. We'll take a look at in a second. All right, so go ahead and put these into the appropriate place in your project. I'm just going to overwrite the content main that's there. Grab the icon. Icons are going to go inside. Actually, icons, the launcher icon can go in there. I'm going to stick mine in drawable for now. I think they can go in either place. Grab my item, just my model file. Go ahead and put that up here with main activity. And then I have some strings, and I'm just going to replace the strings that are there as well. Paste those guys in. Yep, we want to overwrite that guy. Okay, looks decent. That's all we have for this lesson, so come back next time and we'll wire up the floating action button.